now the latest on August 7th around the wide world of tropics. Here's your tropical weather bulletin. The main features are in the Western Pacific today. Francisco, Lekima and Krosa are three named storms that are all active, with Lekima being the strongest, a Category 1 typhoon. 43 storms have formed so far on day 219. On day 68 of the Atlantic hurricane season, no systems are active at this time. 96L is a bit of a memory now, still in the Caribbean in its remnant. Day 85 in the Eastern Pacific, ex-Flossie and ex-Eric still surviving. And in the Western Pacific into the Indian Ocean, look how active things are right now. These three storms and the two Invest, 95B as well. No systems active in the Southern Hemisphere at this time. It's all quiet. Tropical Storm Francisco is barely holding on, 40 miles an hour and a pressure estimate of 1,000 millibars. It's in the northern part of South Korea by now, not too far from the border, 3 miles from Hongcheon. It's 37.8 north, 128.1 east. Over the next few days, we expect that Francisco will live on a little bit longer, could turn post-tropical at any point during this next 5-day period, but this is where it's going to end up going, crossing over Hokkaido eventually. It looks like that is what's going to happen now. Some storms do make it there as a tropical cyclone, and Francisco could also do that. We'll wait and see. Lekima has winds of 75 miles per hour, a pressure of 971 millibars, a pressure that is falling quite significantly at the moment because it is growing. 364 miles from Miyakojima, 20 degrees north, 128 degrees east. Lekima is likely to could intensify considerably by the end of the week before striking Taiwan. This is the one that we're going to be watching extremely closely, projecting a landfall potentially late Friday and then moving on into China over the weekend, where it will turn towards the north and then might parallel the coast. Tropical Storm Krosa is located out in the open waters not far from the Northern Mariana Islands, 60 miles per hour and a pressure of 979 millibars. Its current location is 20.8 degrees north, 141.9 degrees east, 274 miles from Iwo Jima. Over the next few days, this storm will become exceptionally large over the course of the week, becoming a typhoon most likely towards the end of this week, and then staying at that intensity, although some models do take it a little bit stronger. We'll wait and see exactly what happens, and it could deliver some significant winds to the Ogasawara Island chain. Here's a look at Lekima right now. The green area is showing areas of low wind shear, and that looks like it's going to continue pretty much all the way towards Taiwan. So the higher wind shear is to the south of the storm. It's not wind shear that's keeping the northern side fairly exposed at the moment, as you can quite clearly see on this imagery. Looking at the North Atlantic as a whole, here it is. You can see very little really going on. One or two little flare-ups and what's left of 96L south of Hispaniola. Elsewhere, it's very quiet. Not too much else to say. Towards the east, Saharan dust still dominating. In the Gulf of Mexico, it's looking like this right now. A lot of little dotted thunderstorms across the ocean, across the sea, with not too much going on in the grand scheme of things. The Eastern Pacific looking very much the same. I think you can see what's left of Gill there near the centre of the ocean. Flossie, its remnants, is still there just off the north, just north of the Hawaiian Islands, and way out west over there you can see what's left of Eric, which will pretty soon reach the international dateline. Krosa is quite clearly visible in the Western Pacific right now. Just look at its influence extending all the way from north of the Northern Mariana Islands all the way to Yap. And Lekima there on the left-hand side as well, intensifying significantly too. 96W, located over the South China Sea, is the one that looks like it's going to be left out. In the Australian South Pacific region, things are looking very quiet, probably because all of the energy is being used up further north, so little activity there. And in the Indian Ocean, 95B, likely the remnants of Whiffer actually are producing significant rainfalls over eastern India right now. Not too much else going on in that basin. Sea surface temperatures look like this around the Hawaiian Islands. Temperatures around 27 or 28 degrees Celsius. Further east along the coast of Mexico, even warmer, 30 degrees or more. Quite widespread now. Same too in the Gulf of Mexico and in the northern Caribbean and around the Bahamas. Also, a small pocket southeast of Bermuda is now over 30 degrees Celsius. The Indian Ocean along the coast of India, North India and Bangladesh, temperatures are fairly warm. A bit of a cool pocket though in the centre of the Bay of Bengal, and very much so in the Arabian Sea. In the Western Pacific, the Philippine Sea, 30 degrees Celsius or more is well more than good enough for both of those two typhoons. Here's the latest look at Tropical Storm Francisco, which is not much left of it now at this point, and you can see it here still producing a little bit of convection, but really very little. It's what you'd expect of a storm that's moved inland, especially at such a high latitude. Whether it turns post-tropical or not soon remains to be seen. This is what Lekima looks like on the latest imagery. An eye is still not particularly apparent today, although in the last 24 hours there was a more visible eye, and we're waiting to see whether we get to see that again. But the story of Lekima so far is those massive cloud tops. And the same can go for Krosa as well. It's got enormous cloud tops along with its gigantic size, but it could deliver huge amounts of wind field if there were any land areas in the way, and if it does go towards Japan, that will be a cause for concern with that massive wind field that it will end up having. Its eye is going to be big enough. So looking at August the 7th, so far this year, 43 storms. The next name in the Atlantic is Chantal. In the Eastern Pacific, we're looking out for Henriette, and in the Central Pacific, the next name on this one is Akoni. Day 219 of the year. In the Western Pacific, the next name on the list is Bailu. That is the first use of that name after Haiyan was retired in 2013. In the North Indian Ocean, Hika is the next name on list 8. You can find Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest information, our YouTube page, search Force 13 all in text, subscribe if you haven't so far, and you can find us on Facebook and Twitter and contact us on any of those mediums. That's all for now. We'll have another tropical weather bulletin tomorrow. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/force13. With a special thanks to these people for being our most valued patrons this month. You can also check out our growing merch store so you can show Force 13's colours wherever you go. You can also find a link to our Discord server underneath this video in the description.